of 1% and how you can create that healthy CEO mindset for yourself, your career, and your life. My name is Megan Anderson. I'm a mom of three. I'm a fitness professional and business owner. I started my online fitness business in 2013 while simultaneously becoming a stay at home mom for the first time, and found myself feeling that pressure to choose between my business, my health, my fitness, and being a mom and taking care of our household. But what I found is that I didn't have to choose and that I could, in fact, have my cake and eat it too, so to speak. So I created the Healthy CEO podcast to share with you how I make it all work and that you don't have to sacrifice any one area to be successful in all the others. Are you ready? Okay, let's do this. Okay, so this afternoon, we are talking about the 6 skills to unlock more you time this summer. So, without a doubt, hands down, the biggest objection that I get from my women that I talk to, moms mostly, is their lack of time. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. There's not enough hours in the day. I hear it over and over and over and over and over. Okay, so literally, guys, we have the same 24 hours in a day that everybody else has, right? And so how are some people more successful than others? Is it something they're born with? No. They're not smarter than us? No. I'm feeling like this weird hair on me. Sorry. That was so distracting. But really, what it comes down to is they have learned or adapted to certain skills to help them achieve their goals. And it's something that anyone can learn, even us too. Okay. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about the 6 skills that are going to help you make more time for you this summer, right? And obviously beyond that too. Once you kind of get the hang of these things and you repeat them over and over and over consistently, it will just become second nature. And then you'll always know how to find more time when you need to. Okay. How does that sound? Sounds incredible, right? And the other big part of that is being able to balance all the things, especially this time of year when it's super challenging and the kids are out of school. And I know that there are so many of us that kind of like rush around to figure out, okay, what's going to happen, right? Those of us that are in our organization and on my team are like, how am I going to build a business and chase my goals and build this business and go through these launches when my kids are running around, right? And then you're like, okay, do I have to pay for daycare? And there's camps and all this stuff, right? So there's these extra sort of layers that come this time of year if you have school age children, right? Okay, so I will say that this is very different for me today than it was when I first started. When I first got started with this business, my kids were really little, and today they're 17, 15, and 11. One out of three of them is driving themselves, and two out of three of them have jobs this summer. So, I do have some flexibility in some areas, but I'm still having to be the taxi. I'm still having to make sure that my youngest isn't living on his tech all day. He wants to go to camps. And honestly, I really just have always wanted to set goals for myself in the summertime to just be there and spend more time with them. We create a bucket list. There are things that we want to do as a family. I'm learning how to play golf this summer. We want to get out onto the boat as often as we're able to, and all of those things. And for me, like, we live in a resort type area. So when the sun is shining and it's amazing outside, that's the time to be out. And then I can shift gears on crummy, rainy days, get the kids set with like the tech of the movie or whatever, and then dive into my business on those days too. So there's sort of that yin and yang. All right. But also let me preface this by this is not easy, right? This takes work. This takes practice. But there's a ton of freedom and satisfaction that comes at the end of the day when you know that you have all your bases covered, right? And so in the beginning, it's going to take some effort. It's going to take you being diligent about paying attention to this every week, every month, having a daily check-in to regroup. We're gonna kind of dive into those details, but I just want you to know that it is going to take some effort on your part, and it's not always going to be easy. Okay, and we're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. That's normal. That's how we learn. That's how we get better. We are always talking about that daily 1%. That daily 1% comes from how can we do things better the next day. We run into a roadblock, we have a setback. Okay, instead of like, I give up, I'm done, I'm not doing this anymore, it's like, okay, how can I change things to make things different? Which direction can I pivot to? And be thinking about it in that growth type of mindset, right? Okay, so let's dive in. So, number one, is organizing your time. Okay, so if you followed me for a little bit on social media, you know that I'm into my weekly time blocking exercise. So I had, oh, I can't even believe it's in here. If you're watching me on video, I'm looking for it, my time blocker. So I have a time blocker that I use, and it looks like this. So literally, you could use a piece of paper or notebook paper, and it's the days of the week, and they're set up by hours, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., and you go down the list. So every single week, I have this time blocking that I go through. I go check all my calendars. I write in all the non-negotiables. I focus. I take out what I need to do, plug in all the things, and am intentional about setting my week up, right? So typically, just quickly, I'll share with you guys. I put in all the non-negotiables, right? Like if we have an appointment, I put in my workouts. Right now there's school still, so I have kids drop off time. I have family time. I have dinner in there. If I have standing calls during the week, those go in there, and then I can see the bits and pieces when I have open, right? So if you're a 9 to 5 working person, you would block that time off that you're at work, that you don't have any free time in around that, right? And I also do this as a whole for the month ahead. So I actually have gone through the next 3 months and put down when we're going on vacation, when we're like away, or when there's a company launch. Like I have all the things already ahead of me, so that when I sit down every week to time block, I can reference back my week and say what's going on this week, or look ahead next week. I'm traveling, so on and so forth, right? So, time blocking exercises. Number one is organizing your time. Focus and attention on what needs to happen when. So, I have my morning routine. I get up early, even in the summer. I review my time blocker before I go to bed at night. What's the first things that I need to do? Like first things first, right? I look at my calendar, lay out the time. I also am noticing what activities are wasting my time, and I reduce and eliminate those. So I'm still trying to be very organized, even when the summer comes on, and even when the kids don't have school. I still get up early. I have my morning routine with my devotions, my journaling. I do my workouts, and then I can put in the business aspect of it throughout the rest of the day, depending on what's going on. Okay. Number two is planning and prep. And I kind of just talked about this a little bit. You're looking ahead. What's coming up? You're anticipating obstacles, and you have a strategy in place. Like what is going to happen, right? You set up your environment to reduce those distractions, and I mentioned being organized with your time. This is when you're intentional and focused. When you're sitting down to have your me time, or do get your workout in, or you want to sit down and create that journaling habit, right? There's no distractions. You're making sure that your environment is set up where it's a nice chair, it's quiet. Like for me, I just find that getting up before everyone else is my only time when I can truly be spending time with myself. That is what works for me best. I know that I will not do the quiet sit down time thing at the end of the day, because there's too many ideas swirling in my head. There's too much from the day. Like it's hard for me to unwind in that way. So I know that before my brain kicks into gear, if I can fill it with prayers, my daily devotions, my personal development, and all of my workouts and all of that kind of stuff, that's going to be all the good I'm pouring into myself to start the day. And I don't even get on social media until usually when I drop the kids off after school, or sometime after that. So I'm thinking about what my environment looks like, right? And anticipating if there's going to be obstacles and having strategies in place for that. So, for example, you have a sick kid, so you have to stay home with them, right? Or there's traffic, or you have to work late. All right. So, if we're taking into consideration that you're trying to get in your workout, those kinds of days, you chalk them up to a rest day and you get back to it the next day. You make a plan to get at it the next day, or you say, okay, I'm going to only do a shorter workout today. I'm going to go for a quick walk, or if you can't get out of the house, I'm going to do a 10-minute hit workout in the basement or something to that effect. And or set the alarm 10 minutes earlier for tomorrow and get started earlier, right? So you're thinking about, okay, chalk it up. It was traffic. There was an accident. The kid is sick, whatever. How am I going to navigate this moving forward? Is it going to happen tomorrow? Is it going to happen? Look at my time blocker. When can I schedule that in, right? Number three, setting your priorities, right? So put first things first. Make a list of them and review that list daily. So at the top of my daily thing, I have my three important tasks of the day, and I usually put those either the night before or that morning when I'm sitting down to journal just before I go into my workout to think about the three most important priorities of my day that I need to complete. And so putting those first things first, right? And then um reviewing that to sorry, three things that you checklist, you top of my plan. I told you that. Okay, good. So setting your priorities. I'm like, I have my notes in front of me because otherwise I go and I will get way off track. So I've got my bullet points in front of me to make sure that I stay on track for you guys. Okay, so number four is taking action, right? So this is probably the number one most important aspect, right? And so even if it's messy or you get interrupted or it's not perfect, it is about taking action. Take what you're learning and get better with it. Make it work for you, right? We've talked about that. So, like maybe some days are different than others. You have an overnight shift or what have you, right? So, take this information, your time blocker, the way that you've set things up. You're looking at your day. When are you sleeping? When are you showering? When are appointments? When are kids? What are you taking off for vacation? Blah blah, blah, right? And then you've got this set up in place, right? Make it work for you in your daily dynamic. And then when you are having roadblocks or whatever, learn from that. Analyze, okay, what happened? How can I change this? What kind of pivot can I make for the next time? Okay. Number five is rinse and repeat. Okay, guys, keep going. Every single day, small little activities add up to big stuff, right? We talk about that 1% all the time. Like, think about that. If you would 1% better today, 1% better tomorrow, 1% better the next day, right? At the end of the week, you're 7% better. At the end of a month, you're 30% better. Like, think about how much growth you could do. Small little increments every single day, build those habits and keep on going, right? And the last one is having a growth mindset, okay? Believe that success comes from persistence and effort. The more you work on this, the better you'll get. Keep showing up and stick with it, okay? Super happy to share this with you guys today. It's really, really simple, okay? And take out your planner and write them all down. The six things: organize your time, planning and prep, set your priorities, take action, rinse and repeat, and believe that success comes from persistence and effort, having that growth mindset that you'll always be getting better. Okay, so the next week I'm at our annual conference. I am so excited about this. Okay, this is like my 11th event. And so I'm excited that when I come back from the event, I am going to be recording a really awesome episode about getting back on track and the simple steps to do that, because I know that that's always on everybody's mind when they go away or they go on vacation or they're happening doing other things. But follow me on social media to hear all the cool stuff happening. We got new product announcements. So excited to be with everyone. I think my favorite thing about being a BODi partner is these events. I was just saying to someone else that I love the workouts with the trainers. Like, this is I'm totally like a fangirl, right? I walk away with a complete mindset shift. Being with everybody reinforces my belief in the business, my decision to go all in with a career in direct sales. I walk away with new tools, new leadership skills to help my team grow and build, and we get stronger every single year that we attend. But it's just one of those things that it's sort of like recharges the batteries, right? So you go and it's like a whirlwind of trainings and workouts, and you see your friends and get to do all these in-person activities and go to dinner and brainstorm together and all of that stuff. And so when you come back, you're like on fire to grow the business even more. So I cannot wait to share that more with you. Follow me over on social media, on Instagram and LinkedIn for the most part. And you can catch me here and there on Facebook. Super happy to be able to bring you this episode today. I will catch you guys when I get back. Thanks for listening.